My name is Lisa, and welcome to your sacred space, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you are returning, welcome back. It is right around the time of the Scorpio New Moon, and I wanted to play around with a sequence that talks about emotional balance. At the time of this recording, it's around the holiday season, or at the start of the holiday season, and I think it's very beautiful that we've come to a time period where everyone recognizes that the holidays can be emotionally triggering, stimulating, intense, especially around the time of this recording. It's going to be right before Thanksgiving. So I feel that if you are seeking a little bit of emotional balance, this is the practice that can help you. We're going to dive on into our peak pose, which is a half moon pose, which is a balance pose. But I want to dive on into the hips, some flow, some somatic movement as well. So with that, let's go ahead and dive on in. Finding your comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you today. And it could be, whatever, like lying on down, standing if you need to, one foot in, one leg out, or a cross-legged. It's called Sukhasana, but it's not easy, like easy seated pose, Sukhasana. And from this space, take a moment to tune on in. Maybe your easy seated pose has a little bit of slow flow movement. Now, Scorpio is very comfortable in the planets of Mars and Pluto, which represent transformation and action. Scorpio season is all about diving on into the depths, honoring the feelings so that we can come into a place of Sagittarius season, which is all about optimism and expansion. So we have to dive deep in order to grow. In a sense, we have to plant the seeds, get deep into the soil in order to grow. So if it feels good to sway from side to side, feel free to do so. And if your feeling system, your feelings, your nervous system was an element, whether it be fire, water, air, earth, light, ether, what element would it present itself as? Today I feel very airy. It's very I'm almost feeling airheaded. I'm not very grounded. So taking a moment to recognize that. Maybe rolling shoulders up towards the ears, back down and forward. And what does your feeling system need today? If it's a volcanic fire, does it need a little bit of cooling rain, cooling water? If it's an ice, like you're almost frigid, you feel like you can't move or you can't process, does it need a little bit of warmth and fire? If it's earth and it's almost sluggish or too rigid, do you need a little bit of that air, that water? What is it that your feeling system, your nervous system, what is it that you emotionally need in terms of that elemental energy? Breathing in and sighing out. I definitely need some grounding into the earth. I don't know why I feel so airy today. That's important to recognize. You don't have to know the why. You don't have to attach a storyline. You can just accept, okay, this is where I'm at today. And I invite you to maybe find stillness if you're rocking, if you're swaying. And I invite you to set an intention for your practice, whatever that is for you today. May it allow you to find the balance that you need emotionally. Breathing on in. Exhaling on out. From this space, can you inhale the arms up towards the ceiling? And then exhale, bend up and over to your right, reaching the left hand up and over. Inhaling through center. Bending up and over to the left, and just continuing one side and and then the other. Playing around for 2 more breath cycles. Last big deep inhale and exhale. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and come on to the hands and knees for tabletop position. Like I said, Scorpio and feelings, it may be good to have a little bit of action. If you want to play with your yoga blocks, feel free to have your yoga blocks right in front of the yoga mat, grounding down through your fingertips, the base of the knuckles, hugging the navel on in like you're planting the seed of your intention into your gut instincts, your belly, and hugging that energy on in, hugging ribcage on in, grounding down through the fingertips, taking a nice big deep breath in. And if you hear that, that is my cat Boo Boo G. And she's crying for attention. And she could just come upstairs and the doors are open, but she doesn't want to. So forgive me for that. Feel free to sway from side to side. I love how once I acknowledge her, there's silence. And maybe tracing circles over the right wrist or over the left. Tracing circles in the hips like there's a paintbrush at the edge of the tailbone, and just allowing yourself to move in the way that your nervous system, your feeling system truly needs. For me, I really need grounding, so I want to feel the energy of earth underneath me, that yoga mat, that support, the wood floor, maybe getting into my body, feeling my body a little bit more in these poses. Inhale and exhale. And when you are ready, I invite you to curl toes under. Come to sit onto the heels of the feet, or like you're about to sit onto the heels of the feet, and then scoop the heart forward. Round in the upper back, chin comes towards the chest, and come to sit. Inhaling, breathing on in, and exhaling. Inhaling, and exhale. 2 more breaths. My cat's just singing the song to her people. We're singing the song of her people. Last big deep inhale. And exhale. When you are ready, come meet me back in tabletop position. Ground down through the left hand, reach the left foot on forward, and then see if you can send the right hand on forward. You can stay here in this balanced posture, or can you send the elbow towards the knee, towards the elbow, and inhale to reach. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale, elbow towards the knee, towards the elbow. And last time, breathing in. And exhale. Gorgeous. Go ahead, reach through hand and foot. Release the right hand on down. Release the left knee on down. Take it into the opposite side. So sending that right foot on back, left hand on forward, opposite arm to opposite foot. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhale, draw the elbow towards the knee, towards the elbow. And 2 more times. Inhaling. And exhale. Breathing in. And exhale. Inhale to reach. Send the left hand on down. Send the right knee on down. Bring the big toes together. Allow the knees to be as wide as the yoga mat. And come to sit. Taking a child's pose. Breathing into the lower body. Swaying from side to side. If it feels good. Noticing how you're feeling
And from this beautiful space, walk the fingertips as far forward as possible, getting a nice stretch in the upper body, really sending the hips down towards the feet. Taking a nice big deep breath here. Exhale, release your child's pose. Let's come back to tabletop position, curl toes under, and find your first downward facing dog. Downward dog, really spreading through shoulder blades, and begin to pedal out the legs, moving in a way that, again, your body needs. Maybe we want to take clearing breaths. Maybe we're inhaling through the nose, sighing out through the mouth. Maybe we do it 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath in. And exhale. Glorious. Go ahead. See if you can come up onto the tippy toes. Bend the knees. Inhale to rise and reach the heels on down. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale onto the tippy toes. Exhale, bend the knees, send the heels on down. Inhale to rise. And exhale to release. And last time. Inhale. Bend. Inhale. Exhale, release. Slowly walk the feet towards the hands, coming into forward fold at the front of the yoga mat. Sorry if the meows are a little distracting. Meow. Meow. Feel free to send the hips from side to side. Sway the hips, coming into forward fold. I want to thank you all for coming on this journey with me. I am about to hit 11,000 subscribers. I want to do something nice for you guys once we hit that number. I want to maybe do a video that you guys vote on. Something like that. Whether it be yoga or Tara or astrology, which we're getting on into now, or meditation. So let me know, maybe just a spell video. In this journey, I found myself more comfortable. I remember in the beginning, I was like, there's no way I can do this. This is ridiculous. But I have kept up. We have kept up. Slowly but surely, even with cats howling to their people and distractions and New York City noise. We work through it, work through the feelings. Grounding down through the feet, and let's inhale to rise all the way on up, reaching the hands up towards the ceiling. Bending up and over to the right, grounding down through the left foot. Inhale. Bending up and over to the left, grounding through the right foot. Inhale. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer, thumbs connecting to the heart. Actually, let's place one hand on heart, one hand on belly. Allowing ourselves to be here to feel. Swaying if it feels good. Scorpio, believe it or not, though it can be a fiery sign, it's actually a water sign. So flow, getting into the hips. Let's work on our balance really quick. Transfer the weight into the right foot. Feel the left toes get nice and light. Where's our balance today? Just kind of how we checked on in with our emotions, what we need. What does our balance need? Do we need to place one hand on the wall? Do we need to maybe just play with slow tippy toes and release? Something like this. What is it that we need? And eventually, maybe we find our balance. Once we find our balance, let's transfer that energy into the opposite foot, opposite side. Again, you can tap, you can use a wall. A drishti is a focal point that our eyes can just rest on. And when our eyes are steady, our body becomes very steady as well. We find a beautiful balance. Maybe one side's a little bit better than the other. Maybe we switch until we eventually are like, here is my balance. We play from side to side. Beautiful. And from here, let's go through a little vinyasa. So grounding down again, lifting all 10 toes off the yoga mat, spreading the toes nice and wide, placing down pinky to big toe. Inhaling the arms on up. Exhale, fold forward. Step back and take a nice gentle plank pose. Hugging the navel on in, pressing the floor away. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Come on down. The hips are nice and high. Can you use your core to slither on through into cobra? Bringing the tops of the feet to the floor, hugging the elbows on in, opening up in heart space. Let's take a nice big deep inhale. Maybe grounding down through the fingertips, inhaling to rise. Exhale. I didn't really explain that well enough, so bring the fingertips to the outside of the yoga mat. Pressing down to the tops of the feet. Inhale, pressing to the fingertips. Our arms are like L shapes. We rise. And exhale to lower. And last time. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Bring the hands to frame the heart. Press up and back, downward dog. Let's play around with our balance postures. Go ahead, inhale the right foot on up. Step the right foot in between the hands or take a hold of the ankle and help it on forward. From here, let's see if we can just test our balance by coming to rise. So grounding down through the right heel of the foot and the left ball of the foot. Can we walk the hands on up? Can we use our blocks to slowly come to rise all the way on up in Anjaneyasana? Hugging the ribcage and belly on in, finding that drishti. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhale, finding that balance, checking in with your emotions. If you fall, no need to get frustrated or beat yourself up. That inner critic, don't let that come. It's just yoga. We are not doing heart surgery or brain surgery. It's just yoga. Take a nice big deep inhale. Ooh, and exhale, go ahead, release the hands on down to the yoga mat. Can you ground down through the right foot? Maybe use your block. The block comes almost diagonal or almost to the outside of the yoga mat. And then we come to rise. Now, if you don't have your block, hand comes in the same place, almost diagonal to that pinky toe of the foot. You can play around first with both hands down and eventually maybe lift one hand on up and then stack left hip over the right. Come to rise. You can do the same thing with the block. Finding that balance. Taking a nice big deep inhale. Exhale. Last big deep inhale. Exhale, slowly bring that left foot to meet the right. Bring the feet mat distance apart, heels move inward, toes move outward. Let's get into the hips a little. I'm on my blocks, but if you're on your fingertips, that works well too. Go ahead, inhale. Exhale, bend. Inhale to straighten. And exhale to bend. Last time, the hips in yoga philosophy are said to hold all our emotions. So we're just bending to release a little. And exhale, go ahead. Bring the hands to the yoga mat. Ground down through the fingertips. Step back into downward facing dog. If you want to go through a vinyasa, you can. If you want to stay with me in downward dog, you can. If you need a child's pose, take a child's pose. And when you're ready, come meet me in downward facing dog. Taking a nice big deep inhale. On exhale, ground down through the right foot, sending it a little bit to center, sweeping the left foot on up, bending the left knee, stepping it in between the hands, making sure that the feet are in or ankles in alignment with the hips. We have a good distance. My hips are a little bit more narrow, and that is okay. So my ankle is going to be a little bit more tucked in, but we don't want to be on a tight rope. Hug the inner thighs in towards one another. Can you rise on up using your core blocks? Maybe hands slowly going up the leg. Finding your Anjane. Finding that balance. In this moment, regardless of the noise around you, can you breathe? Can you breathe? Taking a nice big deep inhale. Exhale. Beautiful, my friends. From here, let's try to find our half moon. So bring the hands on down. For those of you who are my seasoned yogis, you can play around with the transition of just diving on into it. Tricky transition. For those of you who are just playing with your half moon practice, placing the hands onto the yoga mat, again, starting off in like a warrior 3, and then eventually playing around with lifting that right hand, stacking right hip over the left. Woo! And if you fall, emotional balance, logic comes in with the emotions. It's like, all right, we're not doing heart surgery. We're not doing brain surgery. We just are playing with half moon. We can adjust, we can use a block, and we can try again. I actually love when I fall in these yoga classes in front of you guys, because it gives you permission to fall. It's like, oh, the teacher did it, so that means the world didn't come to an end if the teacher did it. We have that idea of authority in the head, like, oh, the authority fell, and if the authority falls, then it's like the president. We can fall too. So I invite you to fall. I invite you to play. That's how you grow. That's how you learn. Toddlers fall all the time. My nephew's 2. He's at that age where he's falling and he's learning his balance. He's growing. And that won't last for long. So let's play with that on the yoga mat. Inhale. And exhale, release. Oh, that right foot on down. Let's get into the hips. Go ahead. Heel toe the feet to the outside edges of the yoga mat. The heels come inward, toes move outward. We can play around with the same energy of bending and straightening, but for those of us who are interested in going into full Malasana, you can use a block underneath the sit bones if that feels good, if you have one. But if not, can you squat? This is so healthy. We don't squat enough. In fact, 2 of my favorite countries are Japan and Korea. And this is something that, especially Korean women, they will do. They'll make kimchi on the floor and they'll just, they'll squat, they'll get into it. Or in Japan, you'll see that, shop owner smoking outside in the squat. It's so healthy for the hips and for the body in general. It's like an anti-aging remedy for the body to get into the hips like this. So taking a nice big deep inhale and exhale. Now if you need to bend and straighten, that's okay. You're still getting into the hips as deep as you can go. Last 2 breaths, play with me. Inhaling, exhale. On your last breath, really send the elbows to press to the inside of the thighs. Hug the inner thighs in. Maybe really straighten if you're bending and straightening. And exhale, bend as deep as you can go. And release. Let's come to sit. Ugh. Great work, guys. Bring the legs nice and wide. Let's take a forward fold. That's also great for emotional balance. So bring the legs as wide as you need. If you have blocks underneath the legs, that works. Or you can keep a slight bend in the knees. My forward folds, when I first began yoga, I was very tight at 16. I think it's because I went to just a very hardcore private school where we were sitting a lot. We didn't have enough gym time. In fact, parents brought it up where we didn't have enough outdoor time. We didn't have enough gym time. So they moved from 45 or half an hour gym. We had like an hour gym class, which was really lovely. And walking the hands as far forward as possible, coming into this forward fold. So when I was 16, I was incredibly tight and my forward folds look a little bit like this froggy fold. And then
now it's ironic. I'm in my 30s, and this is where I'm at for my forward fold. So it's really never too late. You would think that a 16-year-old would have full mobility, and it would be the opposite. But we're learning more and more that activities and lifestyle, health, all that matters. Taking a nice big deep breath in. Exhale, sigh out. Noticing your feeling system, your nervous system right now. How you are feeling, how you are doing. And I'm noticing just a little, I'm definitely not as airy anymore. I'm way more grounded. Feel it in my lower body especially. Maybe you have a little bit of fire that's stoked up. And Scorpios can be fiery, so let us work on cooling this energy now. And let's hold for 3 more breaths. Last big deep inhale and exhale. Walk the hands towards the pelvis. Come to place the hands underneath the knees. Bring the legs back together. Come to lying down for Shavasana. Let's visualize a cleansing in a pose to meditation with this video. Breathing on into the belly. And exhale. Breathing on into the heart space. And exhale. And if you could visualize you at your most balanced emotionally and physically, your highest self. Recognizing what you may need. And going off what you need in order to manifest emotional balance within the self. How would your day look if you incorporated a little bit of that energy? Breathing in, exhaling out. And may you keep this energy, or that energy that you need for balance, with you for the remainder of your day, your week, your month, whatever it is that you need. You could stay here for as long as you desire. But if you wish to close the practice with me, feel free to roll on to your side, keeping this energy with you, cradling the head, thanking yourself for all that you are, for all that you do. Pressing on back. I thank you again for joining me. If you're new to this channel and this community, feel free to subscribe if you want more of these videos, if you like these videos, and just to be a part of the community. And I thank you again for joining me with everything happening in this journey so far with my YouTube practice. I feel that it has been a journey of authenticity and being more of myself. I no longer freak out if the cat screams in the background. And part of my emotional balance is grounding into myself and grounding into who I am. So with that, my friends, may you feel grounded. May you feel balanced. May you be blessed throughout your day, your week. And I will see you next time. Om Shanti Shanti Peace. Namaste, my friends. See you next time. Bye for now.